everybody, I'm Vasel. Welcome to Lookback. This is a series that I've been doing for quite a few years now, where I go back and review games that I've done, that I reviewed a year ago, 5 years ago, and 10 years ago, and I tell you what I think about them now. So let's get started. Let's go back a year, first of all. Last year I reviewed Batman animated series Rogues Gallery. Oh, I love Batman animated series. It's one of my favorite cartoons of all time. But this game is problematic. You are one of the bad guys fighting against Batman, and so that's kind of cool. But you just keep pushing your luck. This game is just sheer luck. It's also way too long for what it is, unfortunately. I like the concept of it, but it doesn't feel like it was streamlined at all. Lots, a competitive tower building game. I like tower building games. This one has a bit of a Tetris type feel to it. It's just a little too simple. Just play it. It didn't feel. There's a lot of these games out there. This one looks nice. It's pretty. It's small. It just, there wasn't enough there to want me to keep coming back to it. Monster Match. This is a Happy Salmon style game. It's from the same company, North Star Speed game. But more than one person can grab a card. You're rolling some dice. Grab a monster that has 6 arms. Grab a monster that has 0 eyes. Whatever it might be. You roll a number die and a body part and then grab. Fun. Panic Diner. This is another speed game. This one's from Blue Orange, where you're working together. It's a cooperative game to fulfill a bunch of orders by flipping over discs and throwing them in. I thought it was a lot of fun. Both of these games work with kids. Solar Draft. This is a game that has not got a lot of buzz, but I like drafting games in general. And in this one, you're drafting planets and moons and stars in front of you. It's really cool. Almost, I think every card in the deck is different. It almost has a Race for the Galaxy vibe, almost, with drafting instead of anything else. And I think the whole aspect comes together really well. Monster Bond. This one here is another monster matching game, but this one you're working together where you're describing monsters to have people grab them, but you have some forbidden words like you can't say a number, or you can't say the color of a monster. Another good one for kids. Super Punch Fighter from Plaid Hat. Plaid Hat likes to make player versus player games. And this one here is definitely a video game based type game where you're running around hitting each other, each character, some sort of video game trope with their own deck of cards, their own specific way, just running around, having fun, punching and things. Half Truth. This party game, I really like this one, from Richard Garfield and Ken Jennings of all people. Put this game together where you have 6 answers to a question like which of these takes less than a second to happen. And it'll be like a baseball going to home plate, a hummingbird flapping its wings 90 times. There's 6 of them, and you can guess 1, 2, or 3 which are correct. 3 are right, 3 are wrong. If you think you know all 3 that are right, you'll get the most points. But if you even get 1 wrong, you get nothing. It's a nice concept. And then High Rise from Gilhova Formal Ferret Games. I really love this game. It is a move as far as you want on a track, but you can never move backwards style. Building high rises, a little bit of area control, special abilities. This game looks much more complex than it is. It's not that complex, but it's a solid game. 5 years ago, there's nothing. I was probably at a convention this week. But 10 years ago, I played a lot of games. So here we go. 10 years ago, first we have Tact decks. These are some little tactical decks. Bad artwork, bad everything. Just a bad game. Another bad game is Sneeze. It's just some bad artwork. It's about not sneezing. This is not a game I think people would want to play in 2020 or 2021. From Cambridge Games and their clamshells. This is one that just hasn't passed the test of time. London. I know. People love this game. There's a lot of... This is one that's just my personal preference. I'm not a huge fan of it, but it's an engine building game, but I never get the engine built the way I want. I feel like there's too much trouble for me in this game, but I get why people like it. Godzilla Stomp. This is a pretty bad game from Toy Vault. This one you're playing cards to stomp other people. It's just a bad Take That game that uses a Godzilla theme for no good reason. Hot Potato, another Cambridge game. Another bad one. You're just passing potatoes around. Again, that artwork, and it's another kind of Take That game. Master Builder. This one here is from Valley Games. It three-dimensional. Oh, wow, we're building three-dimensional buildings for no real apparent reason. It's a kind of just a boring Euro-style game. Give Me the Brain. Now, this game is very popular from Steve Jackson Games, I think, did it. There's going to be crowds who love this, where there's one brain and you're passing it around. You're all, the theme is you're a bunch of zombies working at a fast food restaurant. You need the brain to activate, so you're passing the brain around. So it's a keep away potato style game. Meh, it's just not my style. Rallyman. Now, this is a big drop for me here. And I'll tell you why. I think Rallyman is a really cool system because I recently replayed it again and modified it. And 10 years ago, I thought it was really neat and unique. Now I sit there and think, I don't know that I like it. I don't know that it feels like there's just a few too many rules for it to be a smooth racing game. Now, there's a lot of people who love it. It's in the Dice Tower library because it's very popular, but it's not one that I think I want to play again. City Square Off, you're placing shapes in a grid, two-player style game. There's a lot of these games. It's like a roll and write these days. Magnum Sol, a decent Euro game that's about digging in a salt mine. Really boring looking, but that's how a lot of these games were. Eleminis. Cards as elements or actions. You're playing them in front of them. Now, I would probably have dropped the rating for this because it doesn't look very good at all. But I've seen modern versions of it, and they look pretty good. So I won't drop it till I see a modern version of it. Pergamon. Another game that doesn't look very good, but it's about archaeological discoveries from Eagle Griffin Games. This one has not really... I wonder if we'll see Eagle Griffin come out with a brand new version of this someday. But it's fine. It's good. I enjoyed it, actually. I just wish it looked nicer. The Awful Green Things from Outer Space, another Steve Jackson game. This one has aged pretty well. Considering the original game, you actually had to cut the counters out. One person is the aliens, the Awful Green Things from Outer Space. The other person is the crew members, and you need to figure out what destroys these aliens. So there's various things around the ship. You'll use them like, a fire extinguisher. I'll spray the aliens. That makes them double. That's a bad thing, and you got to figure that out before the aliens overwhelm the ship. Letters from Whitechapel. This is another one I've dropped considerably. I still enjoy playing this game, but Letters of Whitechapel has been ruined for me in some degree by people. Because the game has no time limit for the detectives trying to catch Mr. Jack in this game. And while it's a really good deduction game, I played some games of this that have slowed down to a dreadful crawl. And there's got to be some way to fix that. Until then, I don't even want to play it right now. I think it's a good game, but I don't want to play it because of that analysis paralysis. And then Vocabulary. This one actually has gone up for me. It's a party game from Out of the Box Publishing, in which you have what's a name for the things that fall off of, what's the actual real name for pencil shavings? And then you get a bunch of dice, you move them around, you make a fake word up, and everyone votes on the funniest word that seems like it would fit that definition. I don't know. I find it to be quite amusing. And that, folks, is all the games I reviewed from a year and 10 years ago. We'll see you next time. Until then, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching Look Back on the Dice Tower.